Hey, what's up guys, this is Ken over at Ground Audio, and today we have a 2015 Lexus CT200H. We're going to be installing the VLine 2, and for this vehicle it is the Lex 89. So come along and check it out as we take this vehicle apart, install the VLine. We're going to be putting in the glove box, and we're going to be putting in the glove box here, and you can see I already kind of took this panel off, and the reason for that was because this panel comes off straight out like this, and we were tempted to try to pry it down, which is, you can give it a little bit of force, but it needs to come out towards you. And as you can see, the reason for that is because of these tabs. You can see they're straight, so they need to come out this way. So what I did was, let me try to mock it up here. So what I did was I took one of my plastic pry tools and I just try to stick it into the edge, the back edge, and just gently pry forward towards me. And as soon as I got one loose, I just slowly worked my way around the edges until I got to my side, and now I'm able to pull it out like so. So I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to proceed to take off the center console. So I want to take these two sides out here. So just start by working the edges like that, and just popping it out, and put this aside. Now that I got two sides off, I can take off the cup holder and center console area. Take the plastic pry tool. And just be careful when you're lifting up the center console, because the joystick, the buttons are on this area. So there will be wires underneath. And of course you have your factory USB aux in and your 12 volt, that's all here as well. So I'm just going to place that aside, like so. And then I'm going to take off this front face area. And again, there's wires underneath, obviously, because of the control panel. So just be careful. I guess I should take off the ship knot first. All right. So with the radio, there are 4 bolts, top here, and then 2 on the sides. They are 10 millimeters. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my socket set, and we're going to take off the radio. Be right back. Okay, we're going to take off the bolts here for the radio, and as you can see, I got some microfiber towels to just to protect the center console, to prevent it from scratching anything or hitting against each other and scratching something. So it's always good to protect your interior. tight fit in here. Just a really tight fit in there, guys. Just trying to be careful, do this nice and slow. These are metal brackets up here, and I was taking a lot of caution trying not to scratch this. I didn't know that's how tight the clearance was between this metal bracket and coming out of here. I mean, these surfaces are either molded plastic, or the color's molded on here, or they're painted. So next time around, I would probably take some like a blue, you know, painter's tape or something like that, and you know, put it underneath there. Actually, before I put it back in, that's what I'll do. Take some blue painter's tape and just protect this surface. Yeah, because obviously, you know, you don't want to damage your car. You know, you want to keep it looking pretty. But that's it. That's how you take out the radio. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of lean this forward more, and we're gonna get access to the plug so that we can, you know, connect our VLine. And the next step, we're gonna be taking apart the screen. So stay tuned. Alright guys, we're going to start working on the screen. First step to take out the screen is to pop off the vent panel here. So again, plastic pry tool. Just go ahead and gently just go in between the vent here, and then it'll slide out. And then just watch out for that cable in the middle for the hazard button. So as you pull it out, there's a clip here. So there you go, put that vent aside. And so with the bezel around the screen, I did go ahead and start that off camera, and the reason why is because there's a lot of clips around the edges here, and I want to be very careful when I pop this bezel out, and because right here this is plastic underneath the you know, this dash, and it, you know, it's kind of flexible, so you don't want to put too much pressure here. There's also, you know, in the middle of this bezel, there's clips here, and clips along the back edge and the bottom of the screen. So you know, I started working with my plastic tool. I started around the edges, the front clips up here, being very gentle not to put too much pressure on the dash here. And as I lifted it up, if you look, it's hard to see, you might not be able to see it from where the camera is. On top of the air ducts, there's two more clips, and when I pull this bezel out, I can show you in more, you know, in more detail. So all I did was push on these two tabs and released it, and after I released it, I worked my way around the edges to be able to lift up the bezel, and the bezel does come straight up. So let me show you the bezel. So I did have it kind of snap back in place a little bit, but so again, here's the front, the 3 pins, and then these are the 2 that I was talking about from, you know, in the middle of the bezel here, which is kind of right on top of where the air ducts are. You could take like a small, you know, I took like small plastic, my pry tool, and I just kind of pushed it against the clips there just to release it. And then once I was able to release that, I just gently pull up, you know, to release. This is by the screen, the bottom of the screen, and this is the back of the screen. So just lift it straight up. So here's that. Then the screen is actually held on by two 10mm bolts here. So I'm gonna go ahead and release that, and yeah, the screen will come right out, and that'll allow us to run the video cable for VLine. Because our VLine cable goes behind the screen, and the factory cable that was plugged behind the screen will go into our VLine cable. Alright guys, so we took out the 2 bolts that was here on this Lexus CT200H, and the screen actually has 4 clips behind it that just pops forward. So this pops off like so. I already popped it off, but if I tilt the screen forward, you can kind of see the tabs here. And that's it. That's how we get the screen out, and you can kind of almost see the blue connector. That's the video cable here. If I can unplug it. See, that's the video cable. So our VLine cable will go into that port, and the factory blue connector will be connected to our VLine cable, and from there I can run the wires through the dash. We're going to be installing our VLine, the main box. We're going to put it on the top shelf here, and we're going to be running the cable from top, running into the VLine in the box here, and then the other cable will come from VLine into back of the radio. Alright, so now I have the VLine installed, or rather mocked up. I have all the wiring connected behind the radio, behind the screen. So now I want to turn it on just to make sure that everything works before I tuck the wires away, put the VLine in the glove box, make sure the backup camera works and all the other factory function works. So let's give it a shot. Actually, let me turn on the car. So as we can see, VLine is on. Go to web radio. Awesome. Looks like everything's working. Let's check the backup camera. All right, backup camera is working. We can see the lines are moving with the steering wheel. That's good. Let's put her back in park. Okay, back in park. All right. Let's look at the factory side. Let's turn down the volume a little bit here. All right. So cool. All right. Climate control's working. We saw the factory nav. It's like factory radio. So earlier we were on web radio. So this is just the regular radio. Cool. Looks like everything's working. Let's get back into VLine. We're back in VLine. And web radio was where we last left off, so it just automatically started playing. Obviously, I'm in the garage right now, and we have our Wi-Fi. So when you're in the vehicle, you know, you can either use like a hotspot or tether your phone. You know, use your phone as a hotspot. And yeah, everything looks good. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off, and we're gonna button it back up. Alright guys, here it is, the VL2 installed in the glove box of our 2015 Lexus CT200H. So what I did was I utilized this factory shelf piece right here that's removable, and I just used some simple Velcro so that in case later on if I need to move it or, you know, need to access it, I can. You can see the cables here are neatly routed. I zip tied it together at the back there, and I just made a small little access hole. So kind of smoothed out the hole so that there's the plastic won't be cutting into the cables or anything like that. Obviously when the vehicle's in motion, you know, the cables might, you know, still have some vibration or might move around a little bit. So just using a Dremel, I was able to just kind of smooth the plastic, and it should prevent it from being, you know, cutting into the cable. And the video cable, the very important video cable, which is in the back here, you know, nice and smooth, no hard bends or anything like that. And being all secure together, you know, even though the vehicle is in motion, it's not going to damage the cable, which can potentially have, you know, cause video issues or anything like that. So there it is, guys. This is the VL2 inside the Lexus CT200H. We're going to put the rest back together.